the Shambhala teachings that Trungpa Rinpoche was so impassioned about teaching are based on the notion that we could live in a way as individuals and as a society where we called on our potential, the potential that we all have, our ability to open up our hearts and minds, our ability to be kind, our ability to care about each other, our ability to love, our ability to be generous, our ability to have a sense of humor, that we could live our own lives in such a way, and as a society, to bring out that quality, to nurture that quality, to trust that, for me to trust that I have that quality, and each of us to trust that we have it and that all the others have it as well. And so rather than seeing each other as flawed or seeing ourselves as flawed, we see ourselves as full of potential to keep our hearts and minds open, no matter what is happening in the outer circumstances. No matter what is happening in the outer circumstances, to keep our minds and hearts open. So genuineness becomes kind of the basis of the path of cultivating courage. The path of fearlessness begins and continues and ends. It's like the breath that you breathe into this path. It's the life force of the path of fearlessness is genuineness, which is to say, not be afraid of ourselves, and to be able to to practice and cultivate so that our friendship with ourselves becomes more and more unconditional, and therefore our ability to not feel we have to fake it, to make people think we're more together than we are, but just being able to be honest with ourselves allows us to be open to our world. To the degree that we're open to ourselves, we can be open to other people and to the world. So genuineness is kind of key, and unconditional friendship is the ongoing exploration and the ongoing practice of cultivating an unconditional friendship. So then the question really becomes, well, how do I stick with myself? How do I stick with myself? And since the subject is fear, it's particularly how do I stick with myself when I actually have an aversion or deep fear or a sense of it, tremendous feeling of anxiety when I really start to look and see the strengths, but it's the weaknesses that we call the weaknesses that brings up this fear of ourselves. How do I do that? And partly it's this the view that I'll be presenting in the talks, of the way of looking at our life is part of the how we do it. And the other major tool is meditation itself. Meditation, it just presents a way of being with yourself in a genuine way and not faking it, and being able to look deeply, more and more deeply as the years go on, at one's emotions, at one's thoughts, at one's habits and patterns. So what is said is that when I was saying the terms that I wanted to address in this talk, and I talked about genuineness, I also talked about vulnerability and strength and their connection. So Chogyam Trungpa says in this book, he said, when you face yourself, when you're to the degree that you're willing to face yourself and face your fear and come to know your fear so intimately, You sort of know its smell, its taste, its color, its texture. And you particularly begin to be very wise about knowing what it triggers in you and all the different ways that you try to run away from the feeling, the emotion, the sensation of fear. And he said, to the degree that you begin to make friends with yourself, to the degree that you begin to face yourself, to the degree that you begin to be kind to yourself, and to the degree that you begin to trust the potential that you and all other beings have to open up, to be wakeful, to be kind. To the degree that you have that, he said, when you turn toward your fear, when you move closer to it, you don't right away discover courage. He said, instead, what you discover is a kind of shaky, tender vulnerability.